Welcome, everyone. I'm now calling this meeting to order. Please stand with us. We'll be led in prayer first by Alderman Gallagher. Please remain standing after that for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll ask Alderman Payne to lead us in that tonight.
Heavenly Father, we come before you once again to thank you for the day that you've given us. Lord, we want to pray for our country that's undergoing strife right now, Lord. We know that you can heal our lands, Lord. Lord, we ask for your blessings upon the people, Lord, that we know that all men were created equal and that we're loved by you, Lord Jesus. And so we just ask you to heal our lands tonight, Lord. And we ask you to be with us in our meeting. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the June 2nd, 2020 meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 2nd, 2020 with any additions, deletions, or corrections.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoops.
Yes.
Alderman Hudson.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Hoops.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution to amend ordinance Title 10, Chapter 1, Section 10 through 12. Mr. Nick Manley.
This ordinance will allow for the police and the city to be able to regulate basically house parties that become an issue in certain parts of the city. So this ordinance has been reviewed by the police department and by the mayor's office for allowing to break up the parties and allowing fines for those who are allowing the parties to occur. It'll go into effect immediately based on the need for the ordinance, and also allow for police to provide notice to the person who's having the party and allow for a process for citations to be issued along with the party to be handling the court proceeding for the citation. So happy to answer any questions for tonight. This being presented to you for approval and passage.
We have a motion by Alderman Flores, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion?
Question. This isn't just residential. This is like commercial as well, correct?
Well, this is just going to be a residential for this ordinance. I mean, the way it's written is it's more residential. Commercial has different, I think, as far as already has some other guidelines as far as occupancy limits go, and also handling the noise ordinances. So there is also ways to do that. Commercial is also a little bit tougher to enforce from the standpoint of maybe where this is provides more of a standard for residential like ordinance.
One of the issues with it is the common use of, VRBOs, things like that. They're in residential areas, but they're non-owner occupied events. And so that's become an issue in the city. It's become a big problem, disturbing the peace of the neighbors, and that's the purpose of
People
this.
renting and then throwing it.
Right, throwing an out-of-control party, and I don't use the term loosely, out-of-control party. And, one that is disruptive to the lives of the other people that live around them. And so that's the purpose of this. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoops.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
Alderman Flores.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for parade ordinance.
Yeah, this resolution will establish a parade procession by ordinance. It gives the police chief authorization to issue the permit along with the criteria that he can request for the permit for the parade. parade, and it also allows for a due process for someone who doesn't get a permit to also be able to appeal the board for a permit. With the parade, it sets out guidelines, these objective standards that for the actual events, and requiring 5K video as well. So it gives us more of an objective, black and white standard in our ordinances that allow for these permits to be issued, and also allows for to give the parade the actual or procession the actual objective standards to use and use the streets and the as allowed by the permit or authorized by the permits for these events. So tonight authorization for this ordinance passed. No, I'm not aware of. I don't think we're charged for permits. We already have a permit in place. Could have been permit, so there's no third party cost.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Southaven regarding parades, processions, and public demonstrations.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion?
Just because this only apply for the street right away, so it's on public property that apply, but just if you're taking the street or right away, it gives us, we can notice and everything to show people to accommodate everyone.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman
Yes.
Yes.
The motion carries. Next on the agenda is a resolution for high-tech surplus.
It's just your, statutory resolution for surplus within the IT department, pursuant to 172525.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve, I move we declare surplus property within the IT department as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is an amendment to our employee handbook. Mr. Chris Wilson.
Board, this is an amendment for the policy. As it was you see, what's one sentence, we are recommending that it goes, writing on these, we're expanding the definition of immediate family. We're also tying this back to our existing municipal policy about working with immediate family members and other departments that may be vendors, service providers, and the same guidelines that apply to us. Still give item T to our existing policy. While the policy intent doesn't change, that family members may work in other departments, we're just adding a little bit more structure to it.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the amendment, nepotism amendment to our handbook.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion?
Is the definitions for immediate family members and those grandparents, is that pretty standard?
Yes, that's expanded over the years. As you see what we had, we're just expanding that.
Is this affecting employees or not?
Yeah, it doesn't change. I mean, it doesn't, they have no employees that are working under or in the same department as an employee, so that doesn't change.
It's just, the purpose of this is just to give clarity and also to add a little more consciousness to new hires, you know, when that situation happens in the future. And I want to just say, as I stated this morning in a department head meeting, this is not, the reason that we've not, or I've not advocated that we change the policy, because we have a lot of great employees that have relatives that work for the city. And I always believe that you hire the best person, you know, and so we don't want to take away the city's ability to hire the best person for the job. However, nepotism policies are in existence for a reason. There are problems that happen, and we see problems from a day-to-day perspective that do happen from that. And so it's something that should be counted as a serious concern when a hire is made. But it still doesn't change the fact that if the best hire for the job, still knowing that is still the best person, we want to make sure that our department heads have that ability to hire the best person for the job. But it's that's why we want to clear it up, just to bring more attention to the people making the hiring decisions, that there needs to be a lot of thought process in that. And I will just say this, I mean, the City of Southaven, of all the organizations I've worked for in my working career, I've never seen an organization that has more nepotism than this city. There are a ton of related people that work here. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that needs to be, for the future benefit of the city, there needs to be a higher degree of consciousness brought to that, because like I said, it does cause problems at times. And anyway, let me reiterate, the people that work for our city now, we have some great employees that have family members that also work for the city. So this is not changing the policy, it's just calling more attention to it and just bringing more clarity to it. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yeah.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hughes.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
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 That motion carries. The next on the agenda is the resolution to claim private property.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the resolution granting authority to claim private property as presented on this day.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Hoots. Is there any discussion among the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in the audience that has a financial interest in any of the properties that would like to speak? Hearing or seeing none, roll call please.
Alderman Brooks. Alderman Brooks.
Yeah.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hughes.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Hughes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
That motion carries. There's no planning agenda this evening. Next on the agenda is mayor's report. Just want to update everyone quickly on the projects that we have going on. Everything we have, as y'all know, we have a lot of projects going on. We've got a lot of activity in the city. Everything is going well. The projects are, many of them are completed or nearing completion. So just a quick rundown of some of those. We know that the Greenbrook indoor softball training facility is done. It's now being used. It's a beautiful facility. We have not done grand opening gatherings for that because of the virus issue. So there may be a time in the future where we actually come back after the fact and do a grand opening. But these facilities, or this facility, is being used now. It's awesome. Sprinkless pavement project is almost done. Landscaping is happening now. And when the landscaping is done, the only other piece to that will be, there's going to be a circular area in the center walkway that's going to be beautiful. We believe it's going to be a meeting location at Springfest. We envision that people will refer to that as the circle. And so people will meet there. Maybe we announce the barbecue winners. Maybe set up some kind of little stage there in the circle to where we announce the winners and just to call attention to it. But it's going to be stamped. The concrete is going to be stamped with the Springfest logo. So it's going to be really cool looking. And so that's the only thing that's left. And then when that's done, it's really nice. If you haven't been out there, go check it out. It's really nice. City Hall's done. I mean, other than just a couple little final punch list items. You'll notice that the baseboards, they were on back order. They got those done all over the first floor. The parking lot has been resurfaced. And then this weekend, they're going to do the striping. And then after that, it's going to be done. The sign is lit. I don't know if you've been here at night, but the new sign on the front of the building is now lit. So it's just, I hope you like it. It's a beautiful facility. We did paint the roof of the pavilion at Associated Park to match the building. and we painted the pump house in the front to match the building as well. Those were done this past week. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I think it's a beautiful building for our city. So that's one of the finals on the punch list. There was an issue, and I apologize, I can't remember there was some issue with it, with the rails, but that's on the punch list. That'll get done. Yeah. It should be done soon. Parks Maintenance Shop, as y'all know, we sold the property where the current Parks Maintenance Shop is because that's such a great location for development there at Snowden Lane and May Boulevard. When we sold that property, the new buyers agreed to allow us to have time to build another facility and stay there. So we are coming down to the end of that project. We expect to be moved into the new facility, which is just west of the tennis center, the first week in July. So that's just right around the corner. Looks great too. Street paving schedule, we're almost done with our 2020 schedule. Many streets have been paved in the city. City looks better. Love new asphalt. You know, one of the best things you can do in a city to show pride in your city or to maintain property values, have the streets looking good. You know, when so many people tell me all the time that when they come out of some of the neighboring cities into Southaven, that they can tell, they can feel it. They can tell that we're committed to the streets. So I thank all of you for supporting that commitment to allocate more money over the years, to get our streets in good condition. So we're down to the wire. There may be 3 or 4 streets that are not done yet, but almost all of them are done at this point. We are gonna, if you have questions, when we set the schedule for the next year, we're gonna try hard to start the next budget year in the fall, like not wait till usually in the spring and March when the weather starts getting better. In March and April is when we start. We're going to press to try to get a lot of them done in the fall. October weather is beautiful. It's perfect for overlaying streets. So we're going to try to have that list of them. So if there's a street that didn't get done this year, it's probably at the top of the list for next year. So it may be done this calendar year still. But anyway, that's gone well. Quickly, Main Street pedestrian project. Been years in the making. That is actually going to be bid in July. So that's finally going to become a reality. Again, that provides sidewalks from Highway 51 all the way down Main Street to Northwest Drive, and that'll connect to our walks at City Hall. So people would be able to walk all that way up, to Soche Park and City Hall. That'll be really nice. That'll be a big deal during the Christmas parade. That'll help a whole lot. So anyway, it's going to be really nice and add a new look to Main Street. Central Park Snowden Multi-Use Trail. We have a lot of people are loving the Snowden Grove Multi-Use Trail, but the Central to Snowden Trail will eventually connect to that one, and it'll be a 10-foot wide trail just like that comes out of Central Park going south on Tullahoma. It'll hit May Boulevard, and then eventually will connect, to Snowden that way. There is a gap there while Silo Square is under construction, so it's probably going to be a couple years, before it's connected totally. But that leg of the trail from Central to Snowden, which is a 9-year-old project, by the way. Don't y'all love government? 9-year-old project is going to be under construction in July this year. So it's awesome. Maloney Goodman Monument sign. Y'all know our commitment to beautify our city. We put monument signs at Northwest Drive and State Line Road. When people exit I-55 going south, it's the first thing they see, a grand entrance to Southaven. Same thing going northbound on I-55, just north of Star Landing Road. There's a beautiful monument sign there that was done last year. And then we have the third one under construction now, which is at Malone and Goodman. So when you come into Southaven from the east side now, you have a large amount of traffic there. That sign is underway there. It's going to be a beautiful sign there as well. They have the blocks laid. I would think that it's probably about another 3 weeks, and then that one will be done. Fire station number 5 is still on pace to be under construction this fall. It's being designed right now, and we still project that construction will begin on fire station number 5 in the curb on Star Landing Road just west of Getwell, that will be under construction in October this year. The Bay Boulevard pedestrian bridge is being designed now. We expect that construction on that, it's looking like it's probably going to be early 21 before it'll be time for that, but that is under design. I'll give y'all further updates as we get something to look at there. And then lastly, as we know, the plan to add artificial turf at Snowden Grove Park and Greenbrook, that we will open the bids for that on July 2nd. So we'll know on July 2nd. We're going to have to move fast. In order for us to do this, construction has got to begin in July to have it ready for the baseball and softball for next year. So I'm going to be asking for some quick decisions. When we get those bids in, we'll need to decide, are we going to do both parks in 1 year? Are we going to do one or the other? Which one are we going to do first? That kind of thing. But we'll have to make those decisions between July 2nd and July 21st. So we may call a special meeting just to, if you will, just kind of have that in the back of your mind, be prepared for that. Well, obviously, one thing that comes into play with that decision is the complications of the virus issue. It definitely is going to have some economic impact on the city of Southaven. We don't know exactly how drastic that's going to be yet. As y'all know, we did a budget amendment for $750,000 in decreased sales tax revenue. Maybe it won't be quite that severe. I know that I get reports from a lot of businesses that they are just absolutely setting record sales since they reopened. So I'm hoping that it won't have a tremendous effect. But by the time we open these bids, hopefully we'll have a little better. We'll at least get the June report, and we'll know a little more about, be able to predict, what the total annual impact of that issue will be. And that's basically it. Does anyone have any questions about any of this? Okay. We'll move on. Next on our agenda is our citizen.
Real quick, on the Stone Grove, how do we go across the wall, take any special crosswalks?
The Tullahoma issue, when this trail was first, or when I first became involved in 2013 with this, we had a meeting with, I know Whitney was with me, we had a meeting with MDOT, and that was the first thing that we brought to them. This is an MDOT project, and so the issue is obviously how do you cross Goodman Road? And we had even talked about a bridge, just like we were talking about at Getwell. Same issue there, looking into having a bridge on Goodman. That's something that we won't give up that. Maybe there's a possibility in the future there's a pedestrian bridge on Goodman there too. But in the meantime, MDOT indicated that funding did not include a bridge. But what they would do with that is they would have traffic calming devices on Goodman, obviously markings on the streets, signage, lights, things like that. So all those things will be part of the project to where it does create a slower traffic in that area. I'll be the first to tell you I'm not totally comfortable with that, but that's all the money. I mean, that's MDOT's call. That's all the money that's allocated for that, and then we can just continue to reevaluate that. Yeah, certainly. I definitely think so. And our new commissioner, John Caldwell, has already, in my opinion, done a great job. Like he's asked a lot of questions of things that have been, policies for a long time. Asking a lot of why we do this, and I love that. I think he's done a good job, and so I definitely think that's a good point, Alderman Flores, that he will be an asset for us. But long way to say, it doesn't include a bridge now. I would like to see long term there would be some type of bridge there, but in the short term there will be heavy markings, and signals and such. Okay, any other questions? Okay, next on our agenda is our citizens agenda. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on the citizens agenda? Yes, sir. Please come forward. Oh, just relax. That's all right.
And you guys can hear me fine? Awesome. I'll try not to make this long. I promise you, everybody wants to go home. Good evening, Mayor Musselwhite and the Board of Aldermen for allowing me to speak to you. Miss Angela Hewitson, wherever she went, she's just sitting back there. and are the owners of 1868 First Commercial Drive, which was built in 2003 and is in the West End District, which is also Aldermen's District. I come to you today to discuss the integration of an arcade and outdoor recreation area in the West End District, which I understand has been discussed in past economic and ordinance meetings. Initially, when Ms. Hughes and I proposed the development of this recreation area in this past December, the Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Cook at Planning, and Alderman Kelly were highly supportive of our plans to revitalize the area, which seems to be trapped in 1980. It's a joke, in my opinion. At this moment, we are facing the hurdle involved with the installation of a sprinkler system. As per fire department, the occupancy limit of the building was calculated to be 318 persons, which therefore requires installation of a sprinkler system. Prior to purchasing the building, I did a lot of research. I reviewed Muni Code, which states the following, and the National Building Code and International Fire Code as adopted, or assembly occupancies 8,000 square feet or more gross area under the roof. Notably, the square footage of my building in question is 3,500 square feet. I'm laughing about that, so I'm trying to laugh. Furthermore, the building and fire code classified the establishment under the category of casino gaming, as there is no load factor for an arcade. Casino gaming uses a simple calculation of 3,500, which is the square footage, divided by 11 persons, which gives us 318 people that could fit under our roof. As the fire marshal explained, we took everything out. That's the load the building can handle. My response was, if I took everything out, I wouldn't have a business. Even installing a sprinkler system would put us under, and we haven't even opened our doors. We are currently dealing with two ordinances. The first one is the non-conformative uses from 2012, which the board had elected to use the most restrictive fire building code to be enforced. I understand. Currently, two aldermen who are present on the board voted for this ordinance. And the second is the general sprinkler requirement of 2015 to enforce 2012 non-conforming use ordinance. Currently, 4 aldermen who voted for this ordinance are present, and 1 was absent, which is currently on the board. Speaking offhand, I don't think you all imagine a 3,500 square foot building needed to be sprinkled. That also was existing at that time. After many months of emails, phone calls, plans, hiring 2 architects, and of course money spent to meet these requirements, we were told that in order to serve food and drink, the occupancy threshold prior to installation of sprinklers must be 100. Not sure the logic of 300 persons versus 100 when it comes to serving. This proved that we were serving our business would be chips, candy, pretzels, and pizza. No open flame cooking appliances, none. We would use a standard 220 pizza oven that's enclosed, and a microwave to heat the cheese for your nachos. Sprinklers contractors have jokingly said we made someone upset at City Hall to install a sprinkler in that building that small. When you think of an arcade, you think arcades, speedballs, basketballs, and pinballs, but do they all have in common? They're pretty big, bulky, and old, and can have a max player of 2. Now you would think submitting a floor plan layout would help our occupancy? Not really. We are cursed of a 3,500 square foot building divided by 11. That separates us from putting in a sprinkler system. I come in front of you all today to see if we can initiate an appeals process where we can sit down and resolve the automated sprinkler situation in the building. We can present to the appeals board our current layout of the games, which includes a fire path for safety, tables and chairs, and no dead ends. None. Other cities who have dealt with this issue took the total area of the building, subtracted the floor space, because they're pretty big, occupied by the games, and divided by the load factor, which would be 11. We want to take it a step further to have, because we have an office, restrooms, and a kitchen area where occupancy load factor is different. On the last note, I hear complaining, I'm not against public safety. We are a small business owned by individuals and corporations. We are a small business owned by individuals and not corporations. The only funds we have are life savings. I'm Ms. Hewson. I'm asking for a pragmatic approach on how occupancy is calculated instead of piled up. We've talked to Mr. Schultz on our options, and if we are to install a sprinkler system. The last option is that our options, well, they have one for incentives to upgrade the building to standards. The last option is to abandon the project and sell the building and let it remain stuck in the mid-80s. That's all
I appreciate you coming. I think I can help you tonight. Will you let me?
Yes, sir.
I really want to help you. You put the cart before the horse. You are having, I don't know that I've ever seen someone not understand the word yes any more than you. I've personally sent you emails.
Yes, yes.
And I've told you that I love your idea. I love the project, and that I would be an advocate with this board and helping you get your project approved. But what you've not done is, as Whitney Cook has told you, you do a variance application.
Right.
So you're here prematurely. Like, all you have to do is do the variance application. Then we're going to bring the fire marshal. Whitney's going to be here. It's going to go before the board, and we're going to try to make this happen. If it can, we're going to try to make this happen for you. I don't understand why won't you do a variance application?
I wasn't informed of a variance application.
Yes, sir. I've seen it. You have been.
From an email?
Yes.
I'll check it one more time.
Yeah, you have.
Good. No, I've been on meetings with Mr. Rowland, and we've gone through most of everything.
Yeah.
He just talked that because in our survey, we get kicked up to an 82. And then the threshold is 100 persons.
Yeah.
Which, if we look at the floor plan and we did the math, we can fit less than 100 because those things are big.
Yeah.
And it's not that much.
But see, these are all things like,
That we can talk
we
about.
want to, like again,
Yes.
the word yes, we're going to try to say yes, okay? And so these are things that we want to try to work that out. You know, I know that our fire marshal's not here tonight, but Chief Scallions, generally, correct me if I say something that's not accurate, but generally, we take the sprinkler ordinance seriously because it saves lives, especially in places of assembly. It's very important. So a life is not worth less in the 1980s district, as you call it, as it is anywhere else. I don't think of it as a 1980s district. I love the West End district. We spent a lot of time working to improve the West End district. That's one of the reasons we love your idea, and we want to try to make it happen. But one of those things is we can't ignore the sprinkler ordinance because it's a public safety issue, and we want to keep people safe everywhere in our city. But I know that Tim Rowland, our fire marshal, is trying to work with you. Now, he did point out, and I read that email as well, you have an architect that's licensed in Tennessee, that's not licensed in Mississippi. That won't work. That won't work. And when we told you that, and when you don't do it, you're delaying your own project by not doing that. You have to have a Mississippi architect. But if you'll work with us, I promise you we'll work with you.
Thank you.
Can we make that deal tonight?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I will shake your hand and bump your elbow.
Yeah. I'll give you a phantom fist bump. How about that?
Sir.
But we want to work with you, but you got to work with us, okay? You got to do the variance application, and Tim is trying to help you. He's going to work with you. Whitney's going to work with you. I know that, and I'll let the rest of the board speak, because I know I've talked to several of the board members about your business, and we love the idea. And I don't know another way to tell you again, I'm going to be an advocate for you. If we can make this work safely, I'm going to do everything I can do to help you while still preserving public safety.
Yes, sir. I totally understand. I'm all for the safety. It's just the building's really small. And
Yeah.
everybody, the contractors have joked. They're like, you make somebody mad. I was like, no, man. That's
Well, and I know it's a joke, but that doesn't happen here. I mean, we treat everybody the same. We're trying to, and if there's a situation that makes sense, there's no perfect ordinance. There's sometimes that's why you have a variance, because there are situations where people have a hardship and you have to use some common sense at times. So that's the purpose of a variance application. But nobody at City Hall is mad at you. You got people that love your project. We just, if you'll just cooperate with us, we'll try to help.
I'll keep on turning away and keep on going because I want to open doors because it's rough right now financially.
So what's step one?
fill out mandatory ordinance when I get home.
You got it, man.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Anybody got any comments?
Oh, yeah, any comments from me? You're welcome. You're welcome to drive by. I mean, see the deck. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else like to speak during the citizens agenda? Okay, we'll move on. Next on the agenda is our personnel docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the personnel docket as presented on the stage.
Second.
Got a motion from Alderman Payne, second from Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Captain.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman
Yes.
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 That motion carries. Next on the agenda is our city attorney's legal update. Mr. Nick Manley again.
One quick item of approval for the rolling stone contract with Law 1 to June 30 for 2020 and 21. Just for outside firm, we have to go through the same that contract for the last 5 years. For a mayor to sign.
So,
Got a motion from Alderman Gallagher, second from Alderman Wheeler. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
You're all.
It's a little late.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Yes.
That motion carries. And I will add to that, the city of Southaven is blessed to have Nick Manley. Nick Manley does a great job. You do. He's he's one of the most brilliant, I call him young. I still think you're young, yeah. You're young to me. But I call him one of the most brilliant young attorneys that I've ever met. I mean, the guy, he really is, he's a smart guy. He helps the city. No, seriously, he does a great job in the city. I'm just telling you, he's a big asset for us. So, just in the future, we're blessed to have Nick and for this part of his career that we have him, and we appreciate what you do, Nick. I think William said your head was swelling. But seriously, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, next on the agenda is our utility bill adjustment docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the utility bill leak adjustment docket as presented on the stage.
We have a motion from Alderman Payne, second from Alderman Kelly. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Wheeler.
Yes.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Do we need to bring up one, was that one in there, Frank?
Yeah, there was one that was pulled last meeting.
It's not in here.
I didn't know how that was going to work. I wanted to know if it was being brought back up or.
Well, maybe that came off. Any motion to make that?
I didn't have, if you didn't remove it, you can consider it separate now if you want to. I mean, however you want to do it. Remember who it was. You didn't table it, you just took it to the docket. It was just passed.
Make a motion that we approve what we took off the document.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Alderman Gallagher makes a motion that, and Alderman Flores second, the motion that we remove one item from the utility bill leak adjustment docket on the June 2nd meeting. So the motion is to untable that, bring that back up for discussion. So we have a first and a second discussion.
I make a motion we approve.
I think Alderman Gallagher's motion was to approve that motion. If it wouldn't table, they didn't just approve it, Alderman Payne seconded it. So I think it passed. So you should do both.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Rhodes.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
Alderman Page.
Yes.
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 That motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is one claims docket.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the claims docket in the amount of $3,467,058.41, including claim checks.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Payne, second by Alderman Flores. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brooks.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman Hoots.
Yes.
Alderman Payne.
Yes.
Alderman Gallagher.
Yes.
Alderman
Yes.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next on the agenda is to determine the need for executive session.
Make that motion. Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. The need this evening is claims and litigation involving city infrastructure and the Southaven Police Department, and then utilities personnel and economic development within the city. Is there a motion to declare executive session? Got a motion by Alderman Gallagher, second by Alderman Wheeler. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. The mayor and board will now enter executive session.